We're playing every single morning. We're playing tennis on this beautiful day. But the exciting thing is there's also a backgammon tournament going on here, one of the biggest and best in the world, and one of the richest tournaments in the world. And we're down to 4 undefeated players who are playing today. And not being streamed is Chris Rogers and Nick Sanquist from England. And they'll play the winner of the match I'm about to show you with Jurgen Orlowski and Thomas Kazamieh, who are from Germany. So we're going to have a Germany-English undefeated finals today in about 4 hours at 5 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock now. And then in the evening, we'll have the winners. I think we'll have the finalists of the defeated, or the once defeated players playing off. And then on Sunday, we will have the winner of the fighters bracket, the people who have lost one time, playing the undefeated winner in a single match to 17 points for the championship. And so this is a very big match. And there's a lot of additional money for every match won from here on. So very important. And I will do my best to try and bring you the action and what's going on. At the top, we see Jurgen Orlowski playing with the red checkers. On the bottom, Thomas Kazamieh playing with the white checkers. I'm going to walk out the door and tell them to start, and we'll get the action going. Be right with you. Okay, the players are getting a cup of coffee. While they are, I'll give you a little insight of what's going on. We had 220 players in the championship division. Later on, there's going to be doubles, and there's many jackpots and other events. There's a memorial event for 2 people that we are honoring who have passed away. Jan Russo, who was a 1992 world champion, who was hit by a car from Romania while he was here at this tournament. I understand, I didn't know him personally. I understand he was a really nice guy and everybody really liked him. It was quite sad. And of course, in this past year, one of my good friends for many years, Emil Mortok, passed away, and we're honoring him with a special event. And I'm personally honoring a previous champion and my good friend, Carter Madig, who I'm so sorry is not here. He's getting some health issues that he's taking care of.
They switched sides, so I have to...
Okay, we got to do a little adjustment because they switched sides on us. Mate Ferrer is here, and he's the guru of the streaming, and going to see that we've got the right people at the right side. Looks like Thomas is going to be at the top, and Jurgen is going to be at the bottom. That's the way it was before. No, maybe not.
No.
Here, I'll get out of your way. So Thomas is going to play Thomas now.
You have a very successful and a lucky day. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. We're live again.
Okay, we're live, and I'm going to get them started. Okay, we're getting the clock set because the match has changed from 13 points to 15 points, and the final, I think, is going to be 17 points. The undefeated final might be different. I'll have to check that. But we'll know when it happens. I used to really be negative about longer matches. I used to advocate 3 out of 5 5-point matches and more Crawford and more DMP and so on. But I'm finding there's a lot of excitement in these longer matches. Sometimes you get 4 cubes and 8 cubes and complicated cube situations and lopsided scores that you don't have in short matches. And I think it is interesting. Personally, I still like faster, shorter matches with lots of Crawford and lots of post-Crawford situations and double match points. That's what they did in tennis. You know, instead of playing first one to 100 points wins a tennis match, they broke it into games and sets, and so that you had more drama. But I'm seeing plenty of drama here. We've had some great, great matches and great play. And these two players are very, very high-level players. They deserve to be sitting here in the undefeated as the other 4, the other 2 players from England. But we've had a lot of great players knocked out. Jurgen Orlowski and Mochi and Nesvat. Just a lot of really top players that have been knocked out. Okay, they're going to use a baffle box. The opening roll, I think they have to just roll 1 die at a time and move it apart. Agree to how they're going to do this because we're using 2 black dice. I love the baffle box, by the way. Now he should pull his dice apart. There you go. That's the way I would do it. Okay. And we're off, and Jurgen gets the opening roll. Very standard play. You do slot with the 5-1 if you're playing gammon go and you're way behind in the match, or gammons don't matter. Also a DMP, but that's the pretty much standard play with the split. I would hit here. You don't want your opponent to make the 2-point, your high points, and you want to unstack. That's my play. This is an obvious hit also. If you're watching live, I'm watching the chat. If you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to address them if I can. This is a tough one. Do you hit or do you make your 4-point? I honestly am not sure. I'm about to find out which is right, though, because I'm watching a very, very fine player make this decision. I think I'm making the point. I don't care that much if he makes his 3-point, and I'd be willing to trade the 3-point for the for the 4-point. I would make my 4-point here. Thomas is saying maybe you should slot the bar here. They're joking around. They're friendly. They know each other well, both from Germany. I'm sure they played many times. That was my play. Do you make the 2-point? Do you make the bar point? Hit and make a point. Looks like it's a better play. Cleans up a blot also. So they are playing with the clock. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, if your clock runs out, you lose the match. So you have to watch it. We've had a lot of matches where the clocks were right down to the end. Last night, the match that I was watching, a player had 15 seconds on his clock. Now, there is a delay. Every time, every roll, you get 12 seconds free before your time starts running down. So you can actually play without ever using any of your time if you can do every move within 12 seconds. He's already made the 2-point. You may as well make the 3-point. He doesn't have a priming game anyway. If you read Mochi's new book, Prime versus Blitz, he clearly has a blitzing type setup. This is not an easy play. That's a real ugly play, but sometimes you have to make the ugly play. So if you're winning the race here, you run. Hope you don't get hit. So you've got to count the race, and I think the race is close, so he doesn't run. And he also has better structure. Another awkward roll for Thomas. I almost think he has to hit. Yeah, he has a hitting structure. He's got an attacking structure. Getting hit back is not fun. The 5, I guess you have to just come down, stack it up. But he's happy to hit. Another awkward roll. Thomas certainly has a very unpleasant structure, and that's why Jurgen is thinking about doubling. He's up in the race, and he's got a better structure. That's 2 reasons to double. But the first reason to double is if your opponent you know should pass. And the second reason to double is if you're not sure if he should take or pass. That's Woolsey's law. This looks like an easy take, so he rolls, which I agree. Do you step up with a 4? I think I do. Only a 4-1 and double 4-point on you. I would step up because I don't like the alternative of stacking the checkers down on the 3-point, on the 4-point, I mean. And he never should have stepped up. Going to hit, make the ace point, and come up. Make it easier to get out. Doesn't he have one more to play? Oh, no, he played 4. That's it. Okay. That was a big hit here, that 5, and continue. And unless Thomas really performs here, it's going to be over. I think it's double pass. He didn't even think about doubling. He just rolled really quickly. Did he think he was too good? To me, that was a clear double pass. He rolled very, very fast. Did he think he was too good, or did he think it wasn't a double? Or did he not think at all? Very, very good roll for Thomas. He's going to anchor. The anchor on the 3 or the 2 is the question. He's anchoring on the 3. I think it got worse for Jurgen, and now he's thinking about doubling. I thought he was in better shape before. I guess he thought he was too good. I guess he weavered him. It's called weavering him, waiting until the guy has to take. I'm not sure I even like that cube. It was such an easy take. I would have cubed earlier, and I probably wouldn't have cubed then. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying what I would have done. This is very interesting. It's kind of hard to get by those 2 points. If he doesn't do that, he's burying checkers and throwing checkers away quite a bit. Here's a double shot. That's what he wanted. 5s and 6s. It's a lot of numbers. A lot of numbers. Do you clean up the blot on the 9? I think I do, because getting hit is disaster. It's nice to have that builder, though. Well, it only gets hit with 5-4. So that's not too many shots. 5-3. Pick and pass. Show me an alternative. I couldn't see a good alternative. Come up with the back checker with the 2. It's a pretty good number away. 11 is a great number away to be. I was once taught that's the ideal number to be away from a single blot that needs to escape. Most shots, there it is, that's the play. He must have read the same book I read, or I actually got that from Jake, and certainly proved right now that 10 was a great roll, 20 hits. If he hits, he doesn't necessarily win, so it's clearly not a redouble. And he might miss. He misses 16 times. And he hits the 5. Yeah, I think you give him double 5s. And a 6-4. Or you can stack and play safe, but I think you need to take some chances here. Although you could get gammoned if you get hit. He's played it safe. I would have given the double 5 and 6-4. Can't be a redouble. What is he thinking? The race isn't that good. His board is very holy. I don't see how this could possibly be a redouble, but he must be thinking about it. Hello, Volker. Nice to see you. Thanks for your compliment. Glad you're enjoying the show. I just don't see a cube here. What am I missing? I didn't like the cube action earlier either. Brings a builder in. They can make a point or hit with. 5-2. I don't think you come out. You want the return shots. I'm not sure I would have slotted either, but I like staying in. Well, do you make the big play here? Do you hit? If you don't hit, what do you do? If you don't hit, you're leaving outside shots anyway. It's awkward anyway. Hitting's your best chance to win. It's scary, it's ugly, and it's my play. I'm not sure where the 5 is, though, when I hit. I guess I play it super, super big, get gammoned a lot, but I bring the 5 around. This makes sense, too. This is a lot fewer hits, but now you only have one direct cover. I'd come off the 15, but we'll see what happens. I like the hit, though. Now he's got a possible double. Now I like the double. Covers with 1s, 7s, and 10s, and he can lift with 2s, 3s, and 4s. So he's probably going to either cover or lift. The race, though, is close enough to where I think Jurgen has a take. I think I'm taking this cube. But let's be more scientific and count the race. All right, I think it was double take. 5-4. He's just going to lift the blot, I think. He can't afford to leave it. Yeah. There's why you hit. Ooh, that's a very good roll. Just bring him all the way in. You don't want to leave a direct shot. I don't see too much else he can do to bring both checkers to the 2 point. Oh, no. What? That's not on my list. I just bring both checkers to the 2-point. And why leave the double shot? You're winning the race now. Why leave the double shot? Why give them 2 ways to hit you? Why not bring that checker in from the bar? Wow, I missed something there. It's a better structure. He's going to leave an outside shot. 52 and 43, 4-6. Okay. I know these are both great players, so I know where I disagreed with them. I could very well be wrong. So if you're watching this, don't just assume that they're playing wrong or playing badly because I didn't like the play. If I was a great player, I wouldn't be doing commentary. I'd be busy playing. I'm a good player, but not enough to where I can make a living playing backgammon. I'm making a living teaching and doing commentary. And I do play a little. I do okay playing. But just a couple plays there I really need to think about there. All right, Jurgen's going to need some bigger doubles than double one. I think you go 6 to... No. When you're behind, you play for the big numbers. You don't play for the little ones. I'm almost sure it's 6 to 5 here. He's playing for doubles, which is fine too. If you're ahead, you protect yourself from rolling ones. When you're behind, you assume if you roll a 1, you're going to lose anyway. He needs doubles right now. No, can't do it. All right, pretty exciting start. 4 points for Thomas. I really want to look at Jurgen's cube action. I would have not doubled when he doubled, and I would have doubled sooner. And I like Thomas's cube action, but I wasn't sure about his checker plays. So I'm going to learn from this match. I'm going to really study this match after it's transcribed. Okay, he's already playing like gammon go, which I kind of like that. When you're behind in the match, this is the 6-4 there's 3 ways to play it that are all close, but this is the play you make when you're behind in the match and you are looking to win more gammons, and I like that play. Even though it's playing to 15, being behind 4-0 means you want to be more aggressive. So I really like that 6-4 opening. Good roll. 6-1 makes the 5-point. 6-1 makes the bar point. Jurgen needs to come up with a 1 or a 3. Got a 1 and a 3. I come up with a 1 and come down with a 3, but that's me. He makes the point. It certainly makes sense also. I hate this. I like the stack. It's safer, though. Might be right. And split. Split because there's 2 checkers on the 8-point, you freeze those checkers. See? If he hadn't split, Jurgen could make the 4-point without any real problem. Now, if he makes the 4-point, he leads a direct shot. That's why splitting when your opponent has 2 checkers on the 8-point is almost thematic most of the time. It's one of my early game rules of thumb. Out scout. That's it. What else is there? Some good rolls here for Jurgen. He needs a 4 or a high number to get out. Ooh, we got both. And I would do both. I would hit and come out. Yep. Not perform enough for me. This could be a cube. I think it might be a little early, though. I actually wouldn't cube here, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I would certainly take. You do lose your market if you point on him and he doesn't perform. But there's only, what, about 8 or 9 pointing numbers. There's a shift with double ones. Oh, yeah, there's a 5-1 also makes the ace point. He didn't think very long about the cube, but again, I would have scooped it up too because I wasn't completely sure it was a double. About 40 ways to play this 2-1, and I can see about 8 bad ways. It's hard to find too many good ones. I think what I just do is safety one of my 2 checkers and try and duplicate something and hope I don't get hit. I don't think I hit. And I would probably safety the checker on the 9-point, play 9 to 8, because there's a direct and an indirect there. And, oh, he's going to hit 2? No. Wow. That was a big play. And it worked. The double tiger against that tough board, that was really gutsy. That was really impressive. Make the ace and come around? Or do you make the ace and hit? Make the ace and think. That's my play. Make the ace and think about whether I'm going to hit again. Playing very aggressive for a guy. Of course, he's down in the match. Maybe that's the reason. Those are pretty aggressive plays against a strong board that Thomas has. I'm not sure I would have been quite so aggressive. And again, I'm not sure he's wrong. I think this is too good to double now. 3s and 4s cover. 4s and 5s hit. It's a huge pass and probably too good to double. Oh, he doesn't think it's too good to double. He's going to cash. I would have played on there. Can't wait to see that. I saw a lot of gammon potential there. They're talking about the plays in the match. They're good friends. He's not going to let him start the game with a 4 prime. How picky can you be, Jurgen? Come on. Let the guy have a little edge. Of course, he is winning 6-0. That's kind of an edge. I was really shocked that, Jurgen might have been right to double there, but he sure played fast. He sure didn't give it much thought. I guess that's his style. He's one of the most interesting and animated people to talk to. I like him. He's fun. He's always full of humor and jokes. And Thomas, I don't know quite as well. I did the commentary with Falafel and Matt Cohn-Geyer when he played Akiko in Monte Carlo when Akiko won the World Championship. I don't think that wasn't the final match, but it was, I think, the semifinals. And I remember he was a very strong player then. It was fun doing, that's when I really got started in commentary. Falafel and Matt Kungair liked having me along because I was doing transcription pretty fast and could put problems in XG. And I started talking in conversation with them. And next thing you know, here I am, a professional commentator. It was mostly Falafel that brought me into it. Falafel was also my teaching partner on some private lessons with some big roller players. I miss you, Falafel. We all do. I'm a splitter. I split them all up. 24, 23. Oh, I'm sorry. Got Thomas on roll here. No, that's right. Oh, with the baffle box, it's hard to tell who rolled. I got to pay more attention. Okay, but I do love the baffle box. That's not my baffle box, but it's not a bad one. I like him. I have a great baffle box, the best I've ever made. I've had 13 different varieties over the years. www.backgammonlearningcenter.com. You'll see my new baffle box. You can just swing it around and hit off the 5. That's usually how you play this. Could make the ace point. Nowadays, people are making the ace point with double 5s, especially when there's other blots around the board. I hate it, but I know it's right often. That's my play. I like the swing play. All right, we finally have a little bit more of a complicated game. The other games were more of pretty standard, straightforward games. I love back games myself. They're my favorite. And I never get gammoned, except when I do. Four, 6, not exactly what the doctor ordered. It's come out. What else are you going to do? I don't see anything else. I would make the 5 point. I don't think hitting's that critical right now. Or just safety a checker and slot the 5. That has merit also. Okay, I like that play. For a better future, for a better Germany. Jurgen is from Ulm, Germany, and Thomas is from Hamburg. I have no idea if they're close to each other or not.
Very far.
They're very far away, Mate tells me.
Hamburg is up north and Ulm is down south.
Ulm was south and Hamburg's north. I knew Hamburg was north. I didn't know where Ulm was. I've been to southern Germany. I've been to Munich. I haven't been to Berlin and northern Germany yet. It's on my list. It's a cleanup play. Cleanup on aisle 3. He's hoping not to get hit and just race. And he doesn't get hit. And not a whole lot here for Jurgen to do except make his point, clean up, and come in. Do you leave the outside blot for action and make your 2 point? Or do you clean up that outside blot? I think the race is good enough to where I would clean up the blot. I would not make the point, which is what he's doing. He's looking for more of a hitting game because he does have a superior inner board, and he would like to get into a hitting battle. And you got your opponent outboarded 4-1. But I was looking at the race also, and I would have made the other play. Well, you either make the 14 or 16 point. You have to do one or the other, I think. And the 2. Comes in. I like this play. Blocks the opponent's sixes, keeps more contact. And again, the race is not, has not been decided yet. Jurgen can still win this race. He's got two strategies to win this game, by racing or by getting a shot. I really like that play. Felt he didn't have the timing to hold those two outside points, and I think that's very reasonable what he did. Again, this is still also good for the race. I don't see anything here except stack. See the stack or go to the ace point, and wow. Against that board, I wouldn't do that. Hit, and you get gammoned a lot. Hit, and he'd be too good. Sam, you have the highest church tower in the world in Ulm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Is it on top of a mountain, or is it just a really high church? There's two ways to get high. Play that I would not have made, and it succeeded. It might work out. I guess he just felt he was so stacked he was going to leave shots later anyway. This covers. That's very nice. The aggressive play is something that people often don't make, especially when they're winning 6-0. It's another play I would not have made that could well be right. I'm here to learn, just like you. This is almost always right. Even though you get fewer shots and you'd like to get into the hitting game, you're in the game forever, you don't get gammoned, you still have enough action, and you're still not totally dead in the race. I think it's almost always right here for him to make the golden point, to make the 20 point. I'm sure there are times when it's wrong, because I use the word almost always for a reason, but I think here it's clear. Now, one reason to stay back is if you look at Thomas's position, it is pretty stiff. He's not going to have, he's got some very bad 6s and 5s. Well, 5 he can play to the 3 point. Got some bad 6s and 4s to play. Yeah. So that's a reason maybe to play it big and stay back and go for the shot. Just play a checker off the 13. There's a good argument for either play. I think he's right to take some time on this because it could be a big swing. I would have done that play, though. I would have made that the bar, the anchor. And sure enough, if he'd stayed back, he'd have been pointed on now, which would not be pleasant. You just bring one down. Don't get fancy here. All right. If you're winning the race, you really don't want to make the 11 point. You don't want to be 6 away from your opponent's anchor, because it's very tough to break it and bring it in. So an alternative might be to do this and not make the 11 point. Another alternative is to make the 9 point. I think I like this. Might be harder to bring the back ones in. I don't know. I sort of like the idea of stacking the the midpoint, the 13 point, and playing to the 4. But I know I don't want to make the 11 point. Just too hard. Unless you're really trying to block him. If you're way down, if you're really down in the race and you want to block, then you would make the 11 point. But he's up in the race. I like this play. This is my play. This looks to me the easiest to bring home. The score was reversed, you might think about doubling here, but winning 6-0, it's a little too soon. According to Grant Hoffman's rule of 4, he's a great player in New Zealand, top player in New Zealand. He's won the Australian Open a couple times, and he's a teacher at the Backgammon Learning Center. And a former student of mine, he came up with a formula for this cube called the rule of 4. If you have 4 or fewer on the midpoint, a place to land, and up 15%, you have a cube in a money game. And this is pretty much going to be like a money game. And the reason he doesn't have that cube here is he's not up 15% in the race. The race isn't that solid. And the race is always a factor when your opponent is on a high anchor, 4 point, 5 point, or 6, 7 point. The race is a critical factor. So I agree with his not doubling. Even if the score was even, I wouldn't double here. If the score were even, I wouldn't double here. Okay, it's a little strippy. This is easy. Make the point. Critical roll here. Without the landing place, I don't think it's a double. There's way too many ways to leave shots here. How about a 6-2? Pretty bad. It's forced. 2s and 8s. It's 11 2s. There's 6 8s. But double 2 and 2 6 are part of the 8, so you can't count both of them. So it's not 17. It's like 15 shots. And if he hits it, he wins almost for sure, and he might win some gammons. So he's thinking about the cube, partially because he's losing 6-0, and there's some gammons here. But what happens when he misses? He almost certainly loses. Probably can't take the recube. So I don't think it's a double for that reason. I don't think it's a double. I don't think there's enough shots, maybe 2 or 3 more shots. You know, if he was 50-50 to hit, it still might not be a cube. But he's under 50%. I don't think it's a cube. It certainly is an easy take. Even if he hits both checkers, his gammon odds are only around 40%. And that's if he picks up both checkers. By the way, if he hits one, he has a good chance of hitting both. Pretty good chance, especially if he hits with a 2. It certainly is worth thinking about. I wouldn't double. The score might excite me about doubling, but I don't think the score is that drastically bad yet to give him what I think is maybe a loose cube. Yeah, he's figuring out, what, aside from the hitting, what else is good? He can roll double 5, double 6. And that still doesn't give him gin. So it's only the hitting numbers that are really the important ones. I agree without that there's no cube. He's pointing out how to play the 3. Oh, yeah, you saw the hit. What do you know? What is he thinking? You want to be 6 away. It's the most shots. Now it's too good to double. And he hits. Should have cubed, shouldn't he? Okay. Again, still, if you get to a perfect bear-off, it's still 40% gammons, and he doesn't have a perfect bear-off yet. He might not get there. In fact, he's likely not to with this structure. Oh, he's getting there. That would not be my play. I'd keep the extra checker on the 6 point because I want to keep my board as long as possible. Okay, he could leave a shot with double 6 or double 5, but I think it's worth it. I'm certainly taking 2 checkers off here. I take him off the 6 and 1 off. Only 6-5 leaves a shot next time. That's my play. Now the gammon odds went up. They're much better than 40%. I'm not sure I do that. I know the 5 is right. I'm not sure I would peel the 3. You get some awkward numbers now. Yeah, I didn't like that. Not legal, yeah. I didn't like that. He left himself odd here where I would not have had that spare on the 4 point, and he's paying for it. My play would have not left a shot. He did that rather quickly, too, and I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm just saying I wouldn't have done it. Tudor, there's no XG analysis unless you want to do it for us. We just don't have the staff and the people. Mate's doing all he can just to keep all the streaming and recording going everywhere. But these will be analyzed later, and you can go to the video anytime and just do your own analysis. Yeah, he's really paying for the leaving it odd there. I didn't think that was necessary. Left a second shot. But it didn't cost him. All right, he's going to win a double game, but the cube is never turned, so it's only 2 points. And I do agree he should not have doubled. An illegal move that didn't matter, that nobody cares. Conceding the gammon, because there's nothing that gets him off. 6-2. Change the scoreboard, please. If they don't, I'm going to run out there and tell them to do it. Here you go. He got it. I don't forget when I win to change the score. I might forget if I lose sometime. I'm going to put the score where I can see it.
Oh, yeah,
He moved it sort of out of the picture. Just push it in a little closer.
just that.
Yeah, just push it in a little. Thank you, Mate, for taking care of the scoreboard. Good job, Mate. Looks good. Scoreboards. And I like that in this game we can see the clock too. Like it's the first match that we've streamed where I can see the clock. He's got a good clock there. It's positioned right too. There's been several matches where the The clock was a big factor. Okay, 3-2 is very ugly. Nothing much you can do with this. Do you step up? I don't think so. There's way too many pointing numbers. That's an interesting play, hitting off the ace. I think he's trying to stop the cube that way, and he might not have. That might get him the cube. Would I double this? I guess if I'm winning 6-2, I would not. And losing, I think I would have. I would have been very tempted to double that one. It's interesting. I'm not saying Jurgen's done anything wrong, but on several key cube decisions, he has made his decision very, very quickly. He didn't take a lot of time. He either just rolled quickly when I thought it might be a double, or he doubled quickly when I think it might not have been. He's very quick on the trigger. Probably a great speed gammon player. But there's no reason for that kind of speed on cube action. That's where the big swings are in these games. I don't quite think this is a double. It could be, but I would just roll. Here's why. He shot a blank. Playing it very big if he's by slotting. He is unstacking, though. That's one of our major principles, to unstack. Is he thinking about making it? That's interesting. Make the 4-point? It doesn't dupe any sixes is the problem. I don't see a good sixes on the other side. So he hits off the ace also. We're seeing some modern backgammon theory going here, hitting off the ace in situations we call tempo hits that they didn't used to make years ago. The other thing that they do now is after you've done that, you make the ace point. Like right now, you might hit and make the ace. Is exactly what he did. You would not have done that 30 years ago. Double hit. And he better perform. He did. Hitting back and coming in with 2 is certainly performing. And Thomas did not really perform here. I see the hit. You're leaving shots a lot anyway, so take away half your opponent's roll. I kind of like the hit. Do you give up the midpoint and make the bar? I think you do. I don't like anything else. Ooh, I hate that. That is so ugly. Could come out. No, it's leaving double, triple shots everywhere. There is some merit in hitting. Stop him from making his 5 points, stop him from anchoring. I would make the bar. That's my play. You got a long-term structure that's reasonable. Easy play. Cover, cover. Clean up on aisle 3. Anchor and come down. Anchor and come down. I would make that point. It's 6 away. It's a nice blocking point. And I would run. Oh, well, there is that. Yeah, that's better than running. You do 2 down, or do you stack? Stack the 4? I think you bring 2 down. I think I'm ready to give up the midpoint now. But that's just me. And that's just me and Thomas. Thank you, Norbert, for your insight on XG++. Was a double. I don't see another play besides that. 3 hits. Hit, and where's the 6? You probably have to continue. If you have to hit and keep going. The alternative is to just make the 2-point, which I think is quite passive. Oh, that's the 6. I didn't see that 6 out. This looks awfully big, though. That's awfully loose. I would like hit and continue, I think. I think I hit and continue to the 4-point. This play is reasonable. It was in my top 2. Come around the corner. If he rolls a 6, at least he has to give up the anchor. And it's only 6s and a 4-2. Oh no! Why not come around? I don't see that. My play would not have worked though. My play would have been hit. This is an ugly 6-2. I like the play. And Jurgen gets a 2, but not with a cover, and he leaves a lot of blots, so he doesn't hit. I certainly can see that. Well, how do you not clear the 10-point? What else is there? And leave a shot? Why? Clear the 10-point. Let's go. That's it. That's it. Let him give you a shot on the next roll. His 6s and 5s are not pretty. And it's just a timing thing. He's got to get the shot first if he just plays quietly like this. This has to be right. It's so funny. Sometimes I see the play. It's so obvious to me. And it's not to the other player. I don't see giving that shot here. Very good roll for Thomas. I wish I knew how to play it. I think that's right. It's very hard to bring home the other 2 checkers the other way. And he is leading the race now. You know what? I volunteer. I think you should give him the 1. No, he doesn't. With the board, with the blot, I would have done it right then and been hit. Ah, that's why you don't volunteer. Okay, double 6, unless he performs this double pass. That's it, double pass, game over. Not enough chances to hit a shot here. Don't take too much time. Come on, you know it's over. Don't pretend your play matters, Jurgen. He's not that dumb. He knows better. Didn't even wait for him to double. He just gave up. Or maybe it was just done verbally. Maybe Thomas said, I double, and he passed. Eight away, 13 away For those of you who don't know the exact match equity at this score, I wanted to tell you that I don't either. 8 away, 13 away. My guess is he's 65%. Six, 4 makes the 4. 6, 3 slots. Mutual holding games here. Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. Thomas is getting the big rolls at the right time. A lot to think about here. Six, 4 is another big roll. Why isn't he taking it off the midpoint? I don't understand that. Isn't he winning the race? Doesn't he want to clear the midpoint first with the 6-4? Why make the 2-point? Wasn't on my list. Doesn't mean he's wrong. It just means I don't understand it. Why is he afraid to take a checker off the midpoint? 6-5. I might play 1 off the midpoint here. I might leave a checker there with the blot in the inner board. Okay, this is very reasonable. This race is close enough to where it's still anybody's game. Got to come down because you got no good 1 anyway. I see no reason not to make the 4. You can still play your 3s to the ace point. You got everything else to play. Bringing it in is certainly reasonable too. Can't take them off until you bring them in. Now here I do keep the spare on the 8-point. I think I might go to the ace or just go to the deuce. No, I would not have done that, but again, it could be right. Still a close enough race to where there's no cube action. I can understand not slotting the ace because you're very likely to get a shot now. And that's why I like this play. Save a 5 or not? I do. I save the 5. It's also a 4 without breaking my board. Certainly play 5 to 3 myself, but I don't think it's a huge difference. I wouldn't take too much time on this. I just happen to think that 5 to 3 is better. Have that flexibility to play a 4 or a 5 without breaking my board and without having to come out. That's me right there. Oh, make up your mind. Okay. Needing an 8. There's an 8. Come with both checkers. If he dances, it's over. If he dances, it's over. If he comes in, we don't know. Came in, we don't know. He comes in, there's 11 shots. Where's the race? He's got ones that hit and all higher numbers that help. So it might be right to stay back. He does. There's 17 numbers that hit here. Almost half the deck hits. What leaves a shot? 5. Can't think of many shot leaving numbers. You're either going to hit them or go past them. 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1. Those are your bad numbers. And then you still have to hit it. Now, what about the 17 times you roll a 6? It's going to be pick and pass. You're going to pretty much be dead in the race. I think this is a pass, especially at this score. I would pass it. When you're winning 7-2, go ahead and give him the point. It's a very good double. And I agreed with him staying back. If he comes out, he makes low numbers good, and high numbers are good for the race. So that's the negativity of coming out. And also, again, from here, he will get some shots. I named him most of the 5s, except for double 5. Is it every 5 leaves a shot except for double 5? Well, yeah. No, 6-5 doesn't leave a shot. It picks and passes. So double 5 and 6-5 don't. That's 3 numbers. That's 8 numbers that leave shots. And then you hit it, let's say 30% of the time. That's not enough wins. I would pass. And he agreed. Good. That's how you analyze it. I think I did the right type of analysis to figure out winning chances. Okay, 7-3. Interesting game. Looks like they're going to take a break here. If they are, I'm going to put out a little note on the board. Take a short break here. I could use one myself. Okay, we're coming back, and this match we've seen last night. I was doing the commentary on the match where Chris Rogers was losing, I think it was 1 away, 11 away, Crawford, and he had 3.5% to win the match, and he won it. It was a very exciting comeback, very big comeback. One big gammon along the way, and the rest of it just grounded out. Never gave up. Very well played match, too, I'm sure. I haven't seen the transcription yet, but it looked to me like he played very, very well. So this is his opponent. And I suspect that these two players are playing at a very high level of play as well. So how do we know how they're playing? We take all the moves and all the decisions and put it into Extreme Gammon, the #1 backgammon software. And it tells you what their performance rating is. I came up with that term when we created Extreme Gammon. We used to have ER, which is their error rating that Snowy used, but performance rating is more accurate because the error rating, you got credit for dancing. So performance rating only measures the moves that where you have decisions to make. So it's pretty accurate. And the lower the number, the better. Now Stefan says that Jurgen's playing at 5-5 and Kaz is playing at 8-6. That's not official. If it's true, that's surprisingly high for both players. I would expect both of them to be playing in the range of around 4, maybe even a little less. But it's early. There's a lot of match to go. They've had some interesting and tough decisions. But Kaz playing at 8-6 and winning 7-3. I'd like to play at 26 and play it and be winning 7-3. So there's a lot of argument about what's really important. I've got a saying that I wrote myself. There's many ways to measure success, but only one you can spend. So, while I do respect people who play at very low PR, I also respect people who win. Find a way to win. Ed O'Loughlin is a classic. His PR is not bad. He's certainly a great player, but he wins a lot more than he should based on his PR because he's just mentally tough. And conversely, there are people who play very, very well on average who don't seem to win anywhere near as much as they should. I'll say it right out loud. My friend Herb Roman, who's still alive in this tournament, is an example. He hasn't won a major tournament. He's done well in many tournaments, but he's been playing for many, many years, and he plays very, very well. His PRs are excellent, and he just can't seem to put it together on Sunday. He had a really tough loss last night, or he'd be in the undefeateds, but he's still in the one loss and he's still alive. I can't lie, I'm rooting for Herb. He's a great guy and a very good friend of mine for many years. I think we've been playing for 40 years. I love sliding the bar. I think that's just a great play. Yes, it's bad when you get hit, but when you don't, you really create yourself a terrific game. I don't see another play besides this play that makes sense. I don't, ooh. I'd much rather have the bar point than slotting the 3-point. I understand the value of coming up, though, and getting out with a 6. There's logic to both plays, but I really like this play. Five primes are awfully strong. They're almost as good as a 6 prime, by the way. If you didn't know that, now you do. I'm full of gems like that. Great shot. Great shot. Wouldn't have taken me that long to hit it. 5. I think this looks like a cube. You got a nice 5 prime. You're losing 7-3. You got 4 checkers behind a 5 prime. Even if he hits here to try and stop whatever he does, I'm doubling. He just rolled so quickly. Why so quickly? How could this double? Did he think he was too good? Ah, that's a possibility. Two decisions so fast. Wow. I thought it was double pass. Maybe, I guess he figured out it was too good. Certainly didn't think it was a take. I guess he thought he was too good. But sure came up with it quickly, and he might have been right. He might have been right. I hadn't gotten that far yet. I just knew it was a pass. Fancy here. He's got a 6-3. Oh yeah, he played it funny. Okay. Nothing fancy here. You just make your 6 prime. 6-3. Turns out it's looking too good. He needs 2s and 4s so he doesn't break. There, he got it. I'm not sure if I wouldn't have come out, but I think he's got time. I guess he figures he's got time. He doesn't want Thomas to advance the anchor. I like that play. Certainly come up with the 4. No, I guess he figures he's going to get, he wants to get another checker, stay back. He's not worried about cracking. And it looks like it could pay off if he rolls a 1 here. 4, 5. In and out. What else is there? Thomas would love a 2. He got it. He would love that too. I think now it's going to be double pass. It's not going to be too good anymore. Oh, he's turned the cube already. That's what I missed. No wonder. When was the cube turned? Ha! I missed the double. Why isn't he doubling? Why isn't he doubling? He already cubed. Thank you, Matthias. The cube is done. I'm going nuts here. Why he isn't cubing? When did he turn that cube? I turned my head and he turned the cube? That's why I like to have another person with me doing the commentary. Catch things better. I did not see the cube. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. I don't trap, I don't break. His board's crashing, I want to hold my points. Go to the 2-point, that's it. Okay. Make the ace, come off. That's all you can do. Now, you would always, I'm sure you would clear the 8 before the 7. Want to bring him home safely, you're not as concerned about blocking him. I don't like that. Oh yeah, I can see the advantage though. He gets a spare on the 4 instead of a stack on the 5. I can see the advantage of clearing the 7. And he's got more ways to cover the 2. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. That would have been a very bad roll if he'd cleared the other point too. Okay, I'm running off this gammon. I'm saying I don't like this game. I like this play very much. He still has a slight chance here. Okay. But no gammon, just give up 2 points. Staying back, trying to hold your board. You don't have that good a board anyway. If you get the shot and hit it, you still might not win. So I really like that coming out with the double 4s. And we're going to have a simple game here. It's going to be a closer score. It's going to be 7-5. Gin. I don't know when they started using the word gin to mean the game's over and you can't lose. Because when you're playing gin rummy, when you call gin, the game's over and you win. So I guess that's where the expression came from. I might say bingo. Thank you, Boris, for your comment. He cubed very early in the game and I missed it. Must have been a real quick cube and take, and I blinked. Okay, put the cube in the middle, guys. Get the cube in the middle. Cube in the middle. I'm going to tell him. Well, they adjusted the cube before I got there. Okay. This is a non-legal moves, or what they call responsible moves event. If your opponent makes an illegal move, you can accept it. You don't have to point it out. I talked to lots of people who agree with that and lots of people who hate it. And there's always been a big divide about which way to play this game. The legal move seems to be the gentleman way to play, to correct your opponent's play, make sure it's done in a gentleman way. But any other game or sport or event that I've ever played in, I want to be a gentleman, but I don't want to help my opponent win when he makes a mistake. So I'm sort of torn between the two, but I prefer non-legal moves. I don't want to have to point out when my opponent screwed up, especially if it's to my advantage. And I don't expect him to do it for me, if that's the rule. Now, if the rule is you do point it out, of course I will. Okay, we got a closer match now. It's anybody's game. It was 6-0, so Jurgen's fighting back. Does he hit 2? I would, especially with the blot on the other side. Now I would think about the cube. A lot of pick and pass numbers, there's a lot of pointing numbers, hitting numbers. He's got an anchor. He does give the cube. I agree with this cube quite a bit. I like the cube. Now, do you take it? There aren't that many numbers that hit and make the point, but even if you just hit loose and pick and pass, yeah, it does look like a pass to me, too. I like that pick, double. I like that double. I like the pass. I still can't get over how fast Jurgen makes his cube decisions. Standard opening 3-2, down 8-5 in the match. I probably would have brought two down, but I promise you it's close. I see four ways to play this, and they're all bad. That's connectivity, though. It's six away from the back from each other. Speaking of sixes. Okay, that gives Thomas a major lead in the race, which means that's his now his strategy. Which means that Jurgen's got to find another strategy, stopping him from winning the race by blocking or hitting. I think you just start dumping checkers down low. Slot the ace in the, that's it. Slot the ace in the 3. 5-3. You're way down in the race, so I don't run. I would make the 3-point or slot my 5-point. I like this. Unstacks the 6-point. 5-2. 2 is not friendly. Might just give up the midpoint here and bring 2 down. You could make the ace point. I like this play. That's my play. I don't see anything fancy here. He would like to find something fancy. He's looking for fancy. He found it. That's kind of cute. Well, first you move the back checkers because you're winning the race. No, what's going on? Why wouldn't you come off? You're way up in the race. You're the one that rolled double sixes. You come off the 18-point, and then you look around. Why are you staying back? You're the one that hit the double sixes. Game plan. When you're up in the race. I think this has got to be wrong not to come off the 18. I think it's the wrong game plan. I think after he counts the race, he's going to see the play. Maybe he forgot he had the double sixes. You're up in the race, you race. Oh my goodness. What is going on? I guess he's tempted with those 2 inner board blots that Jurgen has to play an attacking game. It worked beautifully. Double pass. He's winning the race. He's got a better board. He's got 2 up. I wish they'd separate the 2 checkers so you know there's 2 checkers on the bar, but there are 2 checkers on the bar. That's a huge difference. I don't know I don't know how you can take this cube. If he didn't have those 2 blots in his inner board, it would be much harder for Thomas to blitz him if he comes in with 1 checker. But with those 2 blots, the blitz is very, very viable. Viable blitz time. I would pass. See, he's taking a long time on this one. I'm sure I would pass. Takes it, I'll be shocked. I'll give everybody who's watching $1 if he takes it. He's got to come to Cyprus and collect. Position, race, and threats, all three. Favor Thomas. There he goes. He passed it. Okay. He took a long time on one that I thought was clear, and he goes really fast on ones that I'm not sure of. All right, 6 away, 10 away. I want to remind you at 5 o'clock, and it's quarter to, it's about 2:30, it's about 2:40 now in Cyprus, but at 5 o'clock, we will have the next round. It'll be the finals of the undefeated, the winner of this match and the winner of the other match. The other match is Chris Rogers and Nick Sanquist. And last time I looked, Chris Rogers was way ahead and looked like he was going to win. So it looks like the winner of this match will probably play Chris Rogers for the undefeated finals. But I could be way ahead of myself by saying that. And it wouldn't be the first time I put my foot in my mouth. My mother used to say I only open my mouth to change feet. That's an obvious hit. You'd like to come in with a 1 and hit back. 3-6, I come down. And now Thomas would love a 4. And he didn't get it. But I would make the 11 and come up, only because I don't see anything else. Is he thinking about hitting? I can understand the hit because he's made his 2-point. He's got a blitzing structure. He takes away half his roll. That's a reasonable play. I might not have done it, but it's a very reasonable play. Well, you hit with the 3, and then do you hit with the 5 also off the ace point? I would. I like a double hit here. Yep, do it, do it, do it, do it. It's fun. Hitting is fun. Dean Munch, hitting is fun. There it is. It's my play. Now he's got that lousy checker on the ace because he made that lousy play that I would have made. Run to safety. What else is there? 22-13. What else is there? That's what else there is. Okay. That was not my play, but I can see the logic of it. Come down to the 8. Leave that outside shot. Double hit. Outboarded, but the double hit is sexy. Very decisive play here. Well, he's got to clean things up now. 6-2, sort of clean things up. Pretty good. Hit and cover. 4-6, a double hit really worked out nice. I'm not sure I would have done it. Looks like a brilliant strategy now, doesn't it? 5-1, I think this is easy. There it is. Double 3 is a very nice roll. I come out to the bar, I think. Yeah, I go to the 18. There's a good argument for coming down also, making the 10-point. It blocks, it's a landing place. Yeah, that might be right. I'm not sure. This is 3rd on my list. I saw it, but it's number 3 on my list. It's too hard to bring home. I either make the 18 or the 10. Wow, that's play C for me. Pick and pass. You don't like throwing a checker away, but what else are you going to do here? If you're really way up in the race, you might come up and do something else. But yeah, that looked pretty much forced by logic to me. 4, 4, 3. Okay. Can't be a double. Way too much work to be done. Way too easy to take. Don't see a cube here. I like 2 down. Come off the midpoint. That's it. I still like 2 down. Okay, you agreed? And a loose hit is called for here because you have nothing else to do. 5 down and hit. You're going to go to the ace? Make the ace? Yeah, I think this is pretty much thematic. You lose your market if you roll a 5, or if you roll a 1-3 or a 4-3. You probably lose your market. That's enough market losers. I think especially at the score, I like that cube. It's a bit of a gamble, but I like it. He rolled none of the right numbers, but he's still in pretty good shape. Just come in and out. I like the cube a lot. And I'd like the take, too. Take because if he doesn't get hit, he's got race. Every game is a race. The winner is the one who gets his checkers off first, so it's always a race. That's the 2 he moved. Let's keep track of this now. Make sure he plays it legally. And there's the 3. Okay. Volunteered and indirect, which is not terrible when your opponent has a blot in his inner board and not that great an inner board. This race is not gin for anybody. That's why I like to take on the cube, too. I don't think I make that point. I think you're leaving an immediate 10. Yep. Punished for making a good play, I think. No good play goes unpunished. Five, 3, good point. There's a couple of jokers here, 5-5 and 2-5. Now a 10. I say these out loud so I don't miss them when I roll. I get in the habit of picking out those numbers that I need. Oh, he's got race now. He's in the game. And holding a cube. Filling the open 4 point. It's important to fill an open 4, 5, or 6 point. I like that, even though he may have wasted a pip or 2 for coming around. Good roll for Jurgen. There's a action play, action roll. Still needs more. Jurgen keeps rolling those twos. I like that play. I like filling the 2-point. Six away, 8 away rather. 6 away, 8 away. It's interesting that they both have even numbers. That means gammons are efficient for both of them. Good match. Well played. Now, if the 6 had hit the 1 and knocked it over, the way I play is it stays as 1. That way you don't get disadvantaged for rolling first. Because the other guy could aim for your cube to try and knock it off of the 6 or something. So just in case they hit or collide, the first die stays. I always use 2 different colored dice and run them through the baffle box, except for streaming, we needed to have 2 black dice so that you can see the numbers better. Normal game, I would have a red and a white dice here, and then one player rolls both dice, and the red dice represents the red checkers, and the white dice represents the white checkers on the opening roll. And I think everybody should be required to use baffle boxes, and they should be required to use mine. But that's just my opinion. I don't like going to the ace point here, but I've seen it done many times. Still thinking about making that ace point, and I still might bring 2 down. A little sense of humor there for Thomas. Wanted to come in on the 1 and hit. Safety base, safety city. I didn't know about making the ace point there. I wasn't in love with it. That's a great roll. Clearly the right play if you can escape. What else you got anyway? You could point on him. That's right. You could make the point. I'd run anyway. I don't like the structure. Run, red, run. Should never have run there. How silly was that? Is this a cube I see before me? Very quick double pass. That's what happens when you run and it doesn't work. But I still think it was his best shot. 10-7. 5 away, 8 away. I'm back to playing gammon go and gammon save. I would think I would run with the 6-5. I like hitting and coming down. I like hitting off the 4 and bringing the 3 down, but that's just me. He's looking at the double hit, which certainly could be right, especially when you're losing in the match and you want to play more gammonish. and hit. Come on, be consistent. Could come up, and you give them ones, twos, and sixes, plus all those numbers. Ah, that's a play. That might be the play. I kind of like that play. The more I look at it, wow, I didn't see that at first. I like that play. Doesn't roll a one, you're in pretty strong position. The other play is to hit and make the ace. Put a second checker up. In fact, at this score, that is my play. I'm making the ace and hitting off the deuce. And now I hit. Ouch. Not what he wanted to see. I really like the hit, put the second checker up. I hit two here. Well, you can cover, you can make the 18. You can't hit. I think I just cover. Just play 9-2, I think. That's me. Just go off the bar point. Fewer shots. There is no chance of a cube here. Come on, roll. Cover and hit. You got a 3-point board. He's got 2. You've made your ace point. It's a hitting game. I see your comment, Tony. Almost had a heart attack. I was doing the commentary for Victor Ashkenazi in Monte Carlo, and he was very short of time, and he used up his entire bank of the delay to shake his dice. It was driving me crazy. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he was going to have to make quick decisions, and he was losing his bank. And he did it anyway. He just enjoyed the drama, I think. He's quite a guy. Brilliant player. I'm surprised he's not here, by the way. I think he's in Greece. I was with him in New York a couple of weeks ago at a chouette. They're always fun to play with. Double fours. I'm not sure how you play this. You make your 5-point. You want to stay back, you're losing the race. Could come out with 2. This is not easy. I'm going to just look and watch an expert, and I consider you're going to be an expert. I like this play. Especially after seeing it, I really like it. 6-4, out the door. I don't like crashing everything. I would probably come off the midpoint, give him the double indirect. That's what he did. Eights and nines, and not all eights and nines. Almost all eights and nines, though. I still like this play. It's the best structure. You're winning the race. This seems too stacky and too shoddy later. Is that a term? It's going to be too shoddy? That's a pun, maybe. It's too shoddy, S-H-O-D-D-Y, and too shoddy with a T. I don't like this play at all. It's ugly, David Wells told me. He makes plays because they look pretty. Don't make plays that look ugly. Some people take a pure mathematical approach to the game. Other people, like David, make plays because they look pretty. They get you to the same correct answer, it doesn't matter. And the best players use both. They use a visual and a mathematical. I know Mochi does. Clean it up, baby. Get rid of the blot, cover the ace. Count the race. Cover the ace and count the race. I guess the race is too close to get excited about yet. You've got a tough point to break when you have the 11 point. You corrected the illegal move, which you didn't have to do. This is what I mean about how this is getting totally stripped now. That's why I wouldn't have doubled. I agree with the no double. 6-4. All right, this is a critical roll either way, and it turns out to be a delaying tactic. Turns out not to be critical at all. Slot and make. A lot of bad rolls here and some really good rolls, and that's neither. That's in between. 6-5, okay. The shot is imminent, but who's going to leave it first? Has to break his board? Oh, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this at all. Sixes and ones and picks and passes. I'm breaking my 6 point. I think you have to do this. Way too many good things for Thomas to do if you come off the 5. Might even be a double if you come off the 5. He's got race equity and hitting equity. I don't think you can do this. You would do it if you were way up in the race, and if there was a blot in the inner board, maybe. You just have to clear the 6 here. To me, this is thematic, but he's making it dramatic. Now, if he makes the other play, it could be climatic. Am I being too enigmatic? I should be a poet. I am a poet. I've written many poems. What are you going to do? Come on, you have to do that. You just can't give him the other play. There he goes. Now, he's thinking about the double because he might leave a shot and might not get hit, but it's so imminent to leave a shot, and he does. And there's 17 numbers that hit here, almost half the deck. It's clearly not a cube. It's all you can do. It's not a double. And he hits. And a dance means the game. Double pass. Especially when you're leading in the score here, I don't think you take this cube. He'd have to be up a little more in the race, I think, to take this cube. Because you can expect to come in the next couple of rolls and still have a race. But I think this is a pass. For money, it might be a take, but I think the score tilts it to a pass. The scientific thing to do is to count the race and count what your odds are coming in. There's all kinds of formulas for this. I know all the formulas, but it would take me a while with a pencil and paper to work it out. You're not allowed to use a pencil and paper over the board. So White has 78 pips. He has 68 pips. So he's up by 10 pips. And after one roll, it's going to be about even, and he's probably going to dance 70% of the time. And then White takes the big edge, and there's crossovers, and then there's wastage. They both have about the same wastage. I think this is a pass, but there's nothing wrong with taking your time. Sometimes he comes in and hits. There's another way that Thomas could win. He might come in right away, and holding the cube and having cube big in a race is pretty big, but he passed. I agreed with that. I thought it was double pass. I liked all the checker plays. I agreed with all the decisions in that game. So they must have played perfectly. All right. 5 away, 7 away. We're getting down to territory where I know I take points in equities and gammon values. They're all real good. Normally do not hit 2 with that number. Interesting that he did. Usually come down and hit. Run, red, run. Yeah, run them both. You're up in the race. You don't want to get into a hitting battle because you're outboarded. That's my play. You never should have made that play. All right, 1s and 3s come back. There it is, in and hit. On the 1 and bring the 5 down. Nice roll. Split and down. Escape. No. This is not a cube. This is not a cube. You're too stacked. You don't have that many pointing numbers, double 3 and 5, 3 and double 5. Just run, you know. Just win a race. Run the back checker out. That would be my play. You're outboarded. Why you? I don't want to get into a hitting game necessarily. You're outboarded 3-2, and he's made his ace point. I don't like that play. I would have just run. Actually, I would bet that one. That went against my game plan. Double 2s. Nice roll. Next to 4. That's a nice roll. Makes the anchor, 4-point. Anchor. What else? What else? Okay. Needing a 1 and getting a 1. Oh, this is nice. You step up and you hit, and then you think about the last one. That's exactly the order. He did that. The last one, he put it in harm's way, but it's also a builder. Now, I think about the cube. He didn't. I would have given some serious thought to the cube. 2 out, hitting. You can make the bar. I know that's a very good play also. But I think the hit is right. You're going to get a lot more gammons. I would have cubed, though. I'm pretty sure I would have cubed on that last roll. I would pass, so why not double? I don't think you're too good. I would have doubled the roll before. Four away is a very nice score to be at, because gammons now win you the match if the cube is turned. So getting to 11 is great, but they need to change the scoreboard. It's pointing to it. They caught it. And they're taking out of the break, which is good. I could use a break. 11-8 is the correct score. 4 away, 7 away. I would have cubed 1 roll sooner. I certainly agree with the pass. Well, during the break, I noticed that, if you can't see it, Jurgen has 4 minutes on the clock and Thomas has 14. I keep talking about how Jurgen makes such quick cube decisions. He must have spent a lot of time on some checker plays. He did spend some time on a couple of cube decisions, though. At any rate, 4 minutes is still not terrible, but it could become a factor later. There's plenty of time left in this match. It is the correct score. I can tell, I can attest to it. They're checking the score, but it is 11-5, 11-8 rather. Okay, 6-2. I always bring the 2 down here because the 8-point is stripped and I want another builder or another way to hit again. I don't like splitting here. And he agrees. Makes the 5, splits. A little early for the cube. Nice play. I come up with the 3 and make the 11. Because making the 11 doesn't do much. It stops 6-4, 6-2. Okay. It might have come down with the 6 and up with the 2. I'm not sure about this play, but it could easily be right. Stefan says that Jurgen is playing at 3.5 and Kaz at 6.3. Decent play for both. I think Kaz would not be happy with 6.3. I'm not sure where the errors are. There were some mostly checker plays that I didn't care for or I didn't agree with, but again, I could have been wrong too. Okay, double, quick take. Ho, ho, ho. This is a gambling position. I think it might be too big a gamble. That double was a little on the loose side, I think. The take was too easy. He's got a big game now if he rolls a 6. I think this is more logical. I think the other play is too big, making your 5-point. Yeah, this seemed more logical to me. And you come down or in. Okay, makes sense. Another builder for the 4-point and a dance. And the 4-point. Step up, or do you make the point? I would do one of those two. Step up or make the point. That's my play. Because only a 2-6 is going to burn you on the other side. Okay. At this score, you're not going to recube too quickly. There's a lot more cube vigor when you're the one that's trailing. Three up and 2 up. Makes sense. Jurgen needs to perform, and he does. That's a pretty good performance. Thomas needs a 5. Cube's looking pretty good now, isn't it? I know I'm hitting. I don't know where the 6 is. I think it's out. I don't think coming down helps you at all. I'm hitting and coming out. I'm coming out. I want the world to see. Putting that second checker up and hitting is very, very big here. And not hitting is gives him a chance to anchor, and you're in trouble. I think the hit's automatic. It's automatic from with my fingers. And he agrees. Big roll here for the match. Very, very big roll. He does not perform. One. I think the 4 is there. I like this because you'd like to make the 6 prime. Turned out to be a beautiful double, especially if he rolls a 6 or a 5 now. If you roll a 6-3, do you hit the outside checker? I think you do. 6-4. Make the prime and come down. And there is counterplay here. Thomas does have counterplay. You could run the back checker and hope he doesn't roll a 6. I see the logic of hitting, taking away his roll, stopping him from moving up, getting more gammons. It's a little brittle to play this game from here with the other play. Very interesting play. I'm not sure I would have done that, but it's very interesting. Do I slot the bar with the 3? No, you dupe the 1s at the other play, but this is the offensive play. Big play. Big roll right here. Whoa, and he did come through. Wow. That was amazing. It's hard to bring the 5 down and leave a double shot here. Jurgen was in big trouble there for a second or two and got out of it with that 5-2 from the bar. I would think you continue. I don't think you want to get hit here. That's me. Oh, he's hitting and hoping to make a second anchor. It wasn't clear to me. He did it very quickly, but it wasn't clear to me at all. Ouch. Not a fun roll. One, hit the ace, hit the outside checker, hit them both. What are you looking at? Hit the ace and hit the outside checker. What? Not hitting the ace. I guess he figures if he makes the ace, he doesn't have timing for the game anyway. I would have hit the checker on the ace. Gonna hit it now? I would. I still would. I'm not sure I still don't hit the checker on the ace. I would certainly with the last 2 plays. A different approach to this game than Jurgen's taking. And again, he may be right. I think you've come up with both checkers on the 23. You have no timing for a 1-2 back game, so put them both on the 23 and try not to get gammoned. That would be my play, not this play. Could be a double shot right here. Nope. It's either crack or go. It's crack. It's a crack. You almost always are right to come off the 6-point in these games. What other options is he thinking about? It's actually a good roll. Anything that didn't leave a blot there was a good roll. Thematic to go from the front. There's a lot of bad rolls here. 4 is a part of it. Ooh, ooh. I make that 2-point so fast, make your head spin. Yeah, I would stay there. 6-1, 6-5, 2-1 plays. Wouldn't waste a pip here. Yeah, that's right. Go. Run out this gammon, maybe. Maybe. I'm with you. Don't waste a single pip. Two, three, four. Yeah, you wasted 1 pip, but it's worth it to stay back in case there's a 2 here. Too many 2s. Do you peel? I do. I peel. Doubles, double 3 or higher. Still a chance. Okay, he's off. 11-10, we got ourselves a real battle here. Exciting. 4 away, 5 away. Most people don't realize that the leader's take point is lower than the trailer's take point here. Because at 5 away, whether you lose 1 or 2 points is not a big difference. It's about 7% equity difference. So you're going to take a little bit deeper in a race if there's no gammons involved as the leader than you would as the taker, as the trailer, I mean. The trailer, losing 2 points instead of 1 does hurt quite a bit. So it does, he's going to drop faster. People usually get that reversed. They always assume that the leader drops faster and the trailer takes faster. It's not always the case. It certainly isn't at this score. I like this hit with all those blots in the outfield and everything that he could have done to him if he not hit. For example, this 5-4 would have made the 3-point or made a couple of outside points or pointed on him, made the 2-point. Now it doesn't do diddly. Diddly, as they call it in Texas. They call it diddly squat. I like this play. Everything else is ugly, and at least you got some structure for the future. Hit 2. Hit 2. There you go. Jurgen's down to 2 minutes on the clock, so he's got to play a little faster. Easy play. I think this is clear. A lot of people call this a holding game. We call it call it a back game. We call it a double holding game. If you don't have the 1 or the 2-point as part of your structure, it's not really a back game. And it's not just semantics. It plays differently. The definition of how you play and how you cube is very different with a double holding game where the 2 checkers, 2 points are up high. Pretty even game here. But double sixes tends to change that very quickly. Just run and win a race. Think about cubing soon. Think about the cube. Take points here, about 24% take point for the trailer. Oh, another double six. Quickie makes the ace point. Ah, interesting. Clearly right. Uh-oh, double five. That's not going to be good enough. Not legal enough. I'm doubling here. I think it's a double, and I'm not sure what to take. Yep, he quickly doubled, and he passed. I agree with that cube action, too. How fast Jurgen makes these cube decisions. Of course, he is short on time on the clock, too. Okay, 3 away, 5 away. Again, the leader's take point is actually lower than the trailer's here. 5-4, not 5-2, 5-4. You corrected it, okay. How can this not be the 5-point automatic? What is the alternative play besides making your 5-point? Oh, making the other 5-point. Of course. I missed that. I'm not saying he's wrong at all there. I actually didn't see it. Over the board, if I was playing, I like to think I would see that. And I like the play. Hidden cover is a nice sound, isn't it? It has a nice sound. Hit, I mean. Double twos. Do you make the 11? I think so, because you're losing the race. You're not going to leave the blot. Bring it down. I like this. Make the bar. I don't come up here. You're coming up what we call under the gun too much, I think. Oh, 3-6. That's pretty much the dream roll. I thought it might have been a cube saver, but it looks like it isn't, huh? Well, he's got the 4 and the 7 shot, 4, 7, 11. And if he doesn't hit, he's up in the race, so everything points to a pass. 2 away, 5 away. Here's an interesting score. The leader's take point is 17%. So if there's no gammons and it's purely a race, he can take almost anything because, again, it doesn't matter that much when your opponent is 5 away, whether he wins 1 or 2 points. The only thing that's sensitive is the gammons. If he's got some gammons, he might drop faster. Now, the 5 away player would still double a little sooner, even though the take point's lower, because it's a dead cube. Look at this play. Wow. Wow, that was quickly done and wildly done. My head's spinning when he slotted the 5-point on that play. Wow. So if I'm Jurgen, I'm playing pretty much gammon go, because the gammons is what's going to swing this game. And you're not that worried about losing a gammon, even though an undoubled gammon loses the match. That's something that isn't going to happen a lot. And losing 1 point puts you in pretty bad shape anyway, so that's why losing the gammon isn't as costly as you think, even though it cost you the match. Losing 1 point, you're only like 18% in the match anyway. 16.5%. All right, you hit and you come up. And you decide quickly because your clock is getting low. He's under 2 minutes, 1 minute and 53. That's enough time. But if this game goes for a lot more rolls, I would double, absolutely double this score. Absolutely double. I wouldn't use my clock too much. And if I were Thomas, I would take. He didn't double. Wow, a lot of shots. He's happy he didn't double, he didn't hit. Wow, I would have doubled there. That was great restraint. Either great restraint or maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. I would have doubled. Thank you, Martin. The cube at 11:10 was too good by a lot. Yeah, it seemed like very quick cube action. We're seeing, with time pressure, you're going to see some mistakes like that. This is a very large money round for these two players. I don't know the exact dollars involved, but the winner of this match wins a lot of money, even if he doesn't win the next match. Stefan, thank you. No double take. I would have given the cube. I would have taken it, but I would have given it. Might make the midpoint. Yep, I like the midpoint. It's outfield control. Hit 2. I like this. I'm liking Jurgen's game here more and more. Big stack on this 5-point is not great. There's the cube. Yeah, I like the game too. It's a pretty ugly game for Thomas, but his take point is only 17%. The question is, how many gammons are there here? I agree with this take. Holding the 5-point even with that many checkers, I don't see that many gammons. I think it was a good double and a good take. Oh, yeah. That's the roll he wanted. Cock dice. He would really like to get some checkers moving off the 20-point. This play's simple. All right. With the blot there, I would come off the 20-point. I would just run. I want to get those checkers moving to get off the gammon. There aren't that many hidden covers. Okay. Certainly reasonable to make the 4-point. Okay, it's a pure race now, and the question is whether or not there's going to be a shot and whether or not there's going to be a gammon. Can't get out of there. I still think the gammons aren't that likely. Keeps rolling like this, though. He's wondering where the 5s and 6s are on the dice. I hate going to the ace point there. I would still come off the 6. And Jurgen's under time pressure. He's not going to give a lot of thought to it, and he knows it's not a huge differential in the plays. Got 1:30 on the clock. That's a very nice roll. So again, even though this doesn't look like he had much of a game to take, Thomas doesn't lose much by taking and losing 2 points instead of 1 at this score. Your opponent still needs to win 2 games with the cube turned or 1 gammon with the cube turned, whether he won 1 point or 2. That's why it just doesn't cost that much. And if you got lucky and win the game, you win the match. So that's why the take point is reflected, showing that as 17%. I don't see anything but 6-4 here. No. Oh yeah, this is the play we talked about earlier where he's got 3 checkers on the 6. I would not hit here, and he didn't. All right. No gammon. Now the question is, do you stay for a shot? I might stay one time. 6-1, 5-1. Then you have to hit it and win. Okay, just make sure you don't get gammoned. Game over. All right, 2 away, 3 away. Again, before the roll, I always ask myself, what are the take points? What are the gammon values? Jurgen's take point is 25%. Thomas's take point is 26%. The gammon value with the cube turned is 0.5. Part of the reason, even though a gammon wins you the match, just winning 2 points gets you to Crawford, so that's pretty good. And winning a gammon gets you 1 point too many. It's wasted, so it's still only 0.5 instead of going up to a higher number, which most people would think if a gammon wins you the match. But remember, winning 2 points wins you to Crawford, so you're always comparing the two. What does a gammon give you compared to what you get by just winning or losing? But the higher take points come into play, especially in races. You double 1 or 2 checkers sooner, 1 or 2 pips sooner in races when the take point is 25% and 26% as opposed to being at the normal 22%. I don't see how this could be a double. And I'm wrong. He's wondering, he's looking at it, he was about to grab it. I didn't see the double here. Like an easy take to me. Love to see that one. Maybe because he's short on time, he wanted to double quickly, and maybe because he knew he was going to roll double 2s. If I knew I was going to roll double 2s, I certainly would have doubled. You hit or make the 11. I think because you're afraid of gammons, you might make the 11, but Thomas has consistently played aggressively in this match. I'm not saying overly aggressively, I'm just saying aggressively. Sixes are good, and twos cover. Hit and cover. I like the sound of that. I do it when I can. 3-4 comes in and hits. It's getting exciting here. We're down to the nitty-gritty. 3-1 comes in and hits. Double 5 doesn't do that much at all. Might hit off the ace. 1, 2, 3, and off the ace. Now you wish you had more time on the clock. Now you wish you had more time on the clock. I think it's important to save some time for the final games. That's when the plays are most critical, when you want more time on the clock. Being punished for taking a little too much more time earlier. Okay. It's a reasonable play. That dance hurts. You cover or hit another checker. I hit another checker because gammons win the match. Oh, there's the 5 point. Play C. I would have either made the ace or hit another checker, and the 5 point was my third choice. And maybe it was the first choice. Maybe it was right. Interesting game now. Interesting game now. That's not a very, very good roll. He really needed to cover there. I go out to the bar. Well, this is reasonable too. 2s and 4s. That's 6. I guess that's reasonable when you got a checker up on the bar. That double just came so fast, it surprised me. It may well have been right if I had more time to look at it. I'm not saying he was wrong. But it did surprise me. I would have grabbed it too. If Jurgen wins 2 points here against the Crawford, he's a 68% favorite to win the match. That's pretty big. Without winning a gammon, gammon gets him another 32%. That's why it's worth half as much. Part of why it's worth half as much, and the Crawford rule really has a big effect on it. Switch? I think you have to. There are time increment. I'm not sure I understand the question, but you have a 12-second delay before your clock starts to run, and then your clock starts running. Replay. Pretty ugly game for Thomas here. Am I reading this right? Does Jurgen have 5 seconds on his clock? Is that 51 seconds? It's very hard for me to see. This is really a funny looking game for Thomas. Of quite gammonish.
seconds.
57 seconds, okay, I couldn't read. Thank you, Matty. It's a big difference between 57 seconds and 5 seconds. 5 seconds is danger, danger, Will Rogers. Of course, Jurgen is playing all out for the gammon here. He wins the gammon, he wins the match. And Thomas has got such an ugly game, he can afford to really play aggressively. But he's got to do it within 57 seconds, plus the 12-second delay every time. All right. Now you hit what looks like almost a reasonable board again. Comes in. You don't really want to get hit now, and I split the back checkers. That's me. 6s and 4s to get moving. Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. I'm really liking Jurgen's double now. I can't wait to see that double at XG. Can't wait. There's a lot of gammons in this position. I guess I just bring a checker in. Yep. Can't roll a 6 or a 4 to get moving. It wouldn't be that great right now anyway, but it's going to get better now. Yep, block it. Doesn't block. That's a very big roll. That is very helpful. I think you'd stop trying to win the game and just keep running, run 2 checkers all the way, get as many pips out of this as you can. The ugly game like this, you're happy to save a gammon. Still be in the match, have 32% chance. Wow. The hit will help him save the gammon quite a bit. That's correct, Mickey. Your time is out, you lose the match. There was some tournament where they play where you gain some time. I think, oh yes, in Novi, Carol Cole's tournament. I really did not like that rule. You gain after your clock runs out, you get a minute more or something like that. Okay, the gammons are looking less serious now. It is looking much better for Jurgen. It's a trade-off that getting hit there cost him. I have 3, just got to come in. Unfortunately for him, he has to stack it. And now, might get some fireworks. Oh, just keep going, get off the gammon. Say thank you, happy to lose 2 points. And by the way, I'm sure Jurgen's not unhappy to win 2 points and be a 68 favorite in the match. Be a Crawford. So at 1 away, 2 away Crawford, you're a pure gammon, go gammon save. That's where the term really applies. On the next game, Thomas wants to win the game because losing the game cost him the match, but winning a gammon wins the match. So the gammon value is 1.0. It's very high. And Jurgen's just the opposite. He could care less about winning a gammon, but he sure doesn't want to lose a gammon because it cost him the match. So it changes even your opening rolls. Your 4-1, you slot if you need a gammon, and you split if you don't. 3-2 and 4-3, you come down if you need a gammon, and you split if you don't. So you're going to see that entire game changes based on this score. Very, very sensitive score for gammons. Okay. Big, big comeback for Jurgen. He was way behind in this match. Made a strong comeback. We saw Chris Rogers come back from 1 away, 11 away, Crawford, to win his match yesterday. Should say Crawford on the scoreboard, but that's okay. The players know that it is Crawford. No one can double. I would take the Dublin cube right off the table, just so there's no mistake. Yeah, he's a gammon save. He wants to split and make a high anchor. If the opening roll had been 5-4 for Thomas, he would be right to bring 2 down. And since he doesn't want to get gammon, you make the anchor here instead of the 4-point. If the score was reversed, he'd make the 4-point probably instead of the anchor. It's really interesting. It's really intricate. The natural play would be to run from behind, but he's looking for contact. It still might have been right to run from behind. I don't know. I would slot, stay back because he wants to get a shot. He wants to go for a gammon. But don't forget, you got to win the game too. I might have slotted because of that big stack, even at the score. He knows that if he runs, it's going to be a lot less gammonish. So you're always thinking of those things at this score. Pretty ugly roll here for Jurgen. It's my play. Just play quietly down. Big roll here. Oh, what a roll. Makes the point, it hits 2. Oh my goodness. That was the joker. This could mean the match. That was monstrous. And then dance. That double 2 was the roll of the match probably. Could turn out not to be, but it sure swung the equity in a huge way towards Jurgen. To 5 there. It's an all-out blitz, baby. I think you have to hit off the 5-point and come out from the back. But you better decide soon. Yep. That's me. Blitz away, baby. You don't need a gammon, but you sure we're going to win more. Hit and cover. Hit with the 5, cover with the 3. Cover the 5-point and hit off the 3-point. This is so thematic. So natural to me. Made the 3-point instead of the 5. There were more covers for the 5. That made sense. It wasn't a bad play at all. Probably may well have been right. I'm trying to go fast because I'm worried about his clock. My natural tendency to empathize with the player. That double 2 was a biggie. Again, he doesn't need a gammon, but he's certainly going to win the game a lot after this. Time to get that back checker moving. Even if he makes a second anchor, the timing is not great, but why would you want him to do it anyway? I like this play very much. He didn't have the choice of making the prime anyway. This is clear. It's not a hard game to bring forward, to play forward. 3. Back checker 5. Okay, he's got the well-timed ace-point game. He's going to get a shot before it's over. The question is, will he be able to save the game if he hits the shot, and will the shot come too late? I'm clearing the bar. I would have cleared the bar point there with the 5-1. Here's why. Do it. I still think this is right. He doesn't play for the gammon because he doesn't need it. He's just trying to clear from the rear, not leave a shot. If you wanted gammons, you'd be doing some peeling here. But gammons don't matter. He's playing it very well. Thomas will go into the second chance at a very high place. He could easily still get back into the finals. I think he may have to win only 2 matches to get to the finals after this, maybe 3. Not sure exactly how it works. Assuming he loses this game, which is not over. Looks like 37 seconds on the clock for Jurgen. It's kind of fun when it gets low. It raises the tension. Oh, what a roll. Wow, that's almost as good as the double 2 he rolled. However, 2s can hurt here. High doubles hurt here. Going to be a lot of shots. But saving the gammon isn't going to help. He has to win the game. Gammons don't matter. I don't think you come off that checker. I was thinking if he comes off and your opponent rolls a 2, no, he has to leave a shot with the 2 anyway. Here it is. Oh, no, he missed it. It's going to be very hard to win from here. Now you stay just to stop double 1s from being able to win. So you just stay there. No reason to leave. Double 1s is it. 3-1. If he hits them, the odds of winning are about 8% if he closes the board. He's got to hit first, close the board. Then he's got 8% winning chances. Ball game. Very well played match, very exciting match. I'm going to go congratulate the winners. We will see you back here in about an hour. 1 hour, we're going to see the undefeated finals. We're going to see Jurgen again playing, I think, Chris Rogers, but I'm not sure Chris won. We'll check it. We'll let you know. See you in an hour.